action. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Christopher D. Greif, member of the Brooklyn Advisory Council. Hope everyone's doing a fantastic day. But I'm going to remind you folks, please don't forget to do the 2020 census. It is extremely important. I have here today a young and beautiful Miss Julie Golden, who is going to give you guys a great tips, great information, how to make sure you do the 2020 census from now to October 31st. So Ms. Golden is here, and she's going to give you all the good stuff. Ms.
Thank you, Chris. And thank you for being such a wonderful partner. So my name is Jolie Golden, and I'm a partnership specialist for the U.S. Census Bureau. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how the census is important, safe, and easy. If you haven't completed the questionnaire yet, I hope at the end of this presentation that you feel more comfortable doing so. So let's jump to the presentation. So just a few words about the Census Bureau. We are the largest statistical agency in the United States and the leading source of quality data about the nation's people. At any one time, there may be 130 Census Bureau surveys and programs being conducted. These include the decennial census, the American Community Survey, the American Housing Survey, and more. We want to make sure that the census is extremely safe for you. So it's important, if you suspect any fraud related to the census or another survey, that you report it to us, and these are the numbers for reporting. We will never ask for your social security number, for any sort of political information, any credit card or bank account information. So those are just things to know in terms of the decennial census. So our goal is to count everyone once, only once, and in the right place. We count people where they live most often. We started counting people on March 12th, and as Chris mentioned, we are going to continue through October 31st. That is the period when you can self-respond to the census. The census is incredibly important. It is mandated by the Constitution and has been happening since 1790. It impacts both representation and funding. So every 10 years, we count the entire population. This will determine the division among the states of $675 billion in federal funding for the next 10 years. That funding impacts everything from Section 8 housing to Medicaid, SNAP benefits, WIC benefits, Title I grants, the National School Lunch Program, and much more. The census also helps us plan for the future. When we plan for new fire stations, for repairing roads, for health clinics and hospitals, that all relies on census data. It is incredibly important. The census counts will also determine the number of seats that each state has in the U.S. House of Representatives. The census is safe. It is protected by a law called Title 13. If anyone who works for the census takes an oath the first day that they work to swear to protect all of the personally identifiable information they come into contact with. If I were to violate that oath, or one of my colleagues, I could be subject to up to 5 years in federal prison or of a fine of up to $250,000 or both. So it is incredibly safe. Title 13 has been tested at the Supreme Court level and has held up. This is important to know because when we say that we count everyone, it means we're counting everyone, documented or undocumented, and we want people to feel safe providing their information. It is easy to respond to the 2020 census. There are 4 ways to respond: online, by phone, by mail, or to respond in person to a census employee. We will be sending out non-response follow-up, meaning people who knock on doors, starting August 13th. So that's something important to know. If you don't want anyone to knock on your door, It's really important that you answer the census now. We ask 10 simple questions, and the form is very straightforward. We sent people mailings. In that mailing, there was an ID number. You don't need the ID number to respond. It's just something I want you to be aware of, and I'll show you later how easy it is to respond both with or without the ID number. This census is the most accessible ever. In addition to providing the census online in English, we provide it in 12 non-English languages shown here. We also provide phone numbers, dedicated phone numbers, where you can call in those 12 non-English languages. We provide TDD and other support. Online, we provide support in 47 other non-English languages, in addition to the 12 on the website and the dedicated phone numbers. Those languages are listed here. So the 2020 census has been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Originally, we were slated to stop taking self-response as of July 31st. As mentioned before, the new date is October 31st, will be the last day we collect self-response, and non-response follow-up will start, it's been pushed a little later, August 13th through October 31st. We are hiring roughly 500,000 people across the country to help us count the 330 million people and 140 million households. So there are still positions available, and we are hiring and training now for deployment into the field in August. One tool we look at to determine predicted self-response rates, and these rates are based upon the 2010 census and also our American Community Survey results, is our Response Outreach Area Mapper. So this slide just shows a little bit about the kind of data that we share out from the Response Outreach Area Mapper. Notice that you don't see any personally identifiable information here. You only see statistics. As the census continues, the response continues to roll in, we have a wonderful tool called a response rate map. You can go on here and you can see local response rates for your town, county, or city. If you look, and for and your state, the entire country. So this is just one example from Kings County. The areas in blue are higher in terms of self-response, and the areas in beige or brown are much lower in terms of self-response for Brooklyn. We offer resources through our data dissemination program. If you were interested in writing a grant and accessing some of our information, it's all free, and we can connect you with someone who can help you from our data dissemination department. The census is everywhere online. Hopefully you've been seeing some of our wonderful ads. And we're eager to connect with you, so feel free to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. This is my contact information, which I'm happy to share with you, and other information that could be helpful. Finally, I wanted to share a link to American Community Survey data regarding people with disabilities. So these are disability characteristics. They're projections based upon the Random Sample American Community Survey. And this is data that you can easily access. It's free, and you can see much more than what's on my screen at data.census.gov. You can easily use the link that I shared here. So that's a little bit about the census. Now, Chris, how else can I be helpful?
Can you show us the website?
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
It's a good opportunity to see everyone knows how to do it on the website as well.
Absolutely. Okay, do you see the website now? Shape Your Future, start here. So this is our wonderful 2020 census website. It's 2020census.gov. It's so easy to respond. If you click here on respond, it will take you to a page where you can start the questionnaire. One of the amazing things is you can go below here. If you wanted to see it in another language, You could click Spanish and it simultaneously translates into 12 different non-English languages. Back to English. And if you click Start Questionnaire, you'll see it says it asks for a 12-digit census ID. If you have your invitation to respond, you can put it in there. It just pre-populates your address. If you don't have it, no worries. You can go right here to, if you do not have a census ID, and all you'll need to do is fill in your address. And then you're off to the races to complete the census. Any other questions, Chris?
If somebody wants to find out, if they want to find out where, if a person needs information about where can they put the word disability in, what page should they be putting them in?
There are 2 pages on the census. There are 2 questions which have the ability to fill in information, and people can put in information as they see fit. One of those is the race question, and another one deals with Hispanic origin.
And it is very important that I remind everyone to please make sure you please do the 2020 census, because we want to make sure that services, as she mentioned, every one of them from A to Z, if I mention them, we'll be here till next year. But it is important. You can see this recording again, that visit our website at www.bfssac.com. If you have any questions, as Ms. Golden did put it up, you can reverse it back onto the screen and get her information. You can also email us at the bfssac@yahoo.com. Or you can call us on our office from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, at 718-642-8512. Thank you, Ms. Golden, for this lovely information. And I hope our families and everyone who's here, who is watching this, can please make sure to do the 2020 census. It's just
Thank you, Chris.
Yes. And it's
Thank you.
Yes, and I know a lot of people are saying thank you to me today, and I'm going to say this to people, and Ms. Golden will agree with me. I challenge you all to do the 2020 census. So get ready, get set, go do the 2020 census. Bye, everyone.